Hey everybody, it's Satori here, the Love Messenger, founder of Live to Love and the creator of the Satori Method. I just thought I'd give you a little quick short video here today, just to send you a little message. I had a really incredible conversation yesterday with a man that really, it joggled my mind a little bit, and I thought, how can I share this message and give you something that you can really use and apply, and just some distinctions that really help you think a little bit. This man that I met, he has been with this woman, for many years, and he's been married before, and one thing that came up is that his whole life, he looked like this whole problem was just about, his wife. No, this problem has been his whole life. So what was the problem? The real problem was that he's always trying to please people, always trying to make people happy, always trying to, satisfy people. And what happens is that he put people on a pedestal and he lowers his own value. And that's the story of his life. And I looked at it and I was like, that's what I used to do. I used to do the same thing. Always wanting people to like me. Always wanting people to respect me. I want people, to love me. And as we do that, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to be loved, of course. But when we do that and we tippy toe and we walk on eggshells, what happens? We're not being ourselves. We're not being who we really are. We try to change who we are, change ourselves, just so people will like us. And when we do that, one thing is for sure. You will feel empty and alone. Those are the consequences. The consequences of not being yourself is that nobody can actually see you, And when you don't feel seen, you can't feel loved. So as I was working with a man, we were talking, and he said, so what do I do right now? How do I bring her down from the pedestal? When I say that, it's not about, okay, how do we bring her down from the pedestal and put her in the pit? No. It's how do I bring her down to the pedestal and also raise my own value so we are on the same level, so that we can feel that our self-worth is not based upon this person being better than us or even being lower than us. That we have a self-worth based upon that we feel that we are in balance with our emotions. Because when we don't feel in balance with our emotions, we kind of flip-flop between emotions. So either we feel really excited and we're smiley and we're like, oh, and we're faking it. Or we get really low and we beat ourselves up. So the one thing I want to share with you today, the one key ingredients to all of this, I may go on a tangent here, but the one thing I want to show you is the one thing that is the number one distraction in you being able to be seen and loved exactly for who you are. And that is guilt. See, guilt is a huge distraction. See, you're not born with guilt. You've learned guilt. It's been trained in you. You were trained that when I don't do what people want me to do, when I do something that is not what other people feel happy about, then they've shown me with so many different ways, with their looks, with their rolling their eyes, or their frustration, their tonality, sighing, all kinds of ways. They've shown you that when you don't do what I want you to do, you should feel bad. Feel bad about this. Feel bad about that. So as you're doing that, we are training ourselves to feel bad about things when we make mistakes. And when that happens, we kind of hide our flaws. We hide our mistakes. We hide our weaknesses. And as a result, we also lie and manipulate people around us. Not consciously because we're bad people, because we're afraid to be ourselves. So we tippy toe, we say yes to things we don't want to. All those little things that we do that keeps us being unreal, and we don't own who we are. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to practice so you can own who you are and feel the freedom to be yourself and make it possible for you to be loved exactly who you are. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to, first of all, the number one key that I want you to give you today is to see that when you feel guilty, I want you to notice, just notice, be aware of when and where you feel guilty. And as you notice that, just be curious about it, like, look at it. When I do this, I feel guilty. When I do that, I feel guilty. And you will notice how often that actually happens. So what I want you to do is, I want you to see it. I want you to tell the truth about it to someone that you know cares about you. Say, you know what, I noticed, you know, when I do this and this and this, I feel really guilty, you know, and then you let it go. Just drop it, let it go. Because distraction, number one, is that when you feel guilty, you hide who you are. And when you hide who you are, nobody can see you, nobody can love you. Plus, that you won't change because you're afraid to tell the truth. So anyway, that was my little tip for the day. Let go of the distractions of guilt. Some guilt can be good sometimes, you know, but when we start dwelling in guilt, it just makes us distracted. You know, guilty that, you know, I spoke to my kid this way, or I should have done this with my husband, or I should have done this with my friends, or with my wife, whatever that is. It's all this guilt, so let it go. See it, tell the truth about it, and let it go. Okay, so that was my little tip for the day. I hope you have an awesome day, and until next time, live fully and make a big difference. Bye for now.